Court rules Quebec can bar government workers from wearing hijab in Montreal. So this is a little bit of a complicated and technical ruling, but we'll get into it. The Quebec Superior Court has upheld the province's law that bans some public sector workers from wearing religious symbols at their jobs. However, Justice Marc-Andre Blanchard ruled that specific law provisions are unconstitutional as they pertain to English school boards. The ruling would allow for teachers within English-speaking schools to wear English-speaking school districts to wear religious symbols while at work. Bill 21, adopted in June of 2019, prohibits public sector workers from including judges, police officers, and teachers, from using symbols such as hijabs, kippas, or turbans at work. The law disproportionately affects women, particularly Muslim women who wear hijabs. Bloc Quebecois leader Yves-Francois Blanchet said he is happy with the court's choice to uphold the province's right to legislate to protect secularism. So I just want to clarify some things, because this is it's technical. So there is this bill that's highly contentious in the province of Quebec, Bill 21. And it is originally for all government workers. If you work for the government in any capacity, you are not allowed to wear religious symbols while on the job, while in your capacity as a representative of the government. So this was contested, and this court ruling upheld most of it, but there was one exception. And the one exception is that, so if you're a government worker, you can't have religious symbols at work. But the exception is that if you work for an English-speaking school district.
Why?
Because there is a technicality where English-speaking school districts seem to be under some different constitutional rights.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.
Like the rest, like they're part of the rest of the non-French speaking part of Canada?
It's a little bit complicated. So it does not apply to the English language school boards, as they hold special rights over education under the Canadian Charter.
Okay, so it's a different jurisdiction.
That's what it seems like. I was a bit confused by this, but there is this technicality where, even though they're in Quebec, they don't have to follow Bill 21, but everyone else does.
Okay, so I'm not going to comment on that technicality, because that just seems to be that we can't uphold the law here because this is not our jurisdiction. So it's not based on anything else other than technicality. So we're not going to be able to judge. I mean, we could judge that the same way that we judge bureaucracy being stupid sometimes, right? But the rest of it, I think the rest of it makes complete sense. Okay, so this is so here's the difference between Quebec and France, right? This is why I support what's happening in Quebec. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me, come at me, and tell me why I'm wrong. I have changed my opinions many times, live on air sometimes. I support Quebec's position on this more than I support France's position on this. Okay. France is trying to ban hijab for, women under 18.
Including in public.
in public on the goddamn streets.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's insane.
That is insane. That is insanely authoritarian. Quebec is saying that no, like in the public, you're free to wear whatever the hell you want. Again, if you want to talk child abuse, maybe if you say like, oh yeah, parents can't put the hijab on their 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, maybe even 9-year-old. Like I will be like, okay, show me like the mental health expert that says that this is child abuse or whatever. And I would be like, you can't just be like, oh, it's a given. No, there needs to be experts involved. I mean, like, okay, fine, like maybe, but 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, these people should be able to decide whatever they want to wear in public. Okay.
Especially
so
considering that they can consent to sex at the age of 15.
Yeah, especially given that in France the age of consent for sex is 15, and yet they're telling them that it's now the law that before age 18 you don't get to choose what you're wearing in public. That is insane. That is fascistic. That is authoritarian. Okay, France is going too far on that topic, but Quebec is saying, listen, when you are representing the goddamn government, okay, and you are the face of the government, you cannot have religious symbols. Any religious symbols. This is not the hijab. You can't have a cross. You can't have anything. Okay? I would go as far as you can't even have, I would say you shouldn't even have like political symbols, right? You shouldn't be able to have, I don't know, like your party showing, because if you go, like if your tax agent comes or if a cops comes and arrests you and you're like a liberal and he's a conservative, you're like, oh my God, is this going to cause extra tension, right? Can you send me a liberal cop, right? Like that should be, that you shouldn't be able to do signal any views when you're representing the government, right? So, and yet again, Quebec has managed to get this line pretty good, because it's also telling you that, hey, you could be a government staff and still wear your hijab if you're an accountant. You're not like representing, you're in the office doing accounting job. You don't need to remove your hijab, right? But if you're a cop, if you are you can't just be like, hey, the tax money can be used to broadcast religious symbols, right? Again, if it can, are you going to do that with politics as well? Like, can cops put like stickers of their political parties on their car and drive around? Because if they can't, then you're not taking religious rights away. You're taking religious privilege away. Okay? So again, what Quebec is doing, it makes sense, is not removing people's rights. Women have still the complete right to wear the hijab when they want, but not on this job. You have the right to wear whatever you want, but you don't have the right to a job. You can't be like, it is your right to wear the hijab wherever you want, but it is not your right to wear the hijab and be given this job. That didn't rhyme. That rhymed on accident.
You just mean like get a different job if you insist on wearing the hijab.
Yeah, exactly.
At your job.
Yeah, even a government job, but not when you're a judge, not when you're a police officer, not when you're again, you could be a teacher that wears the hijab in a private school, but when the taxpayers are paying for children's education, you can't be marketing a religion on taxpayer money to children. You can't do that. Anyways, Rivka?
I just wanted to say something about how every time any of these religious symbol bills comes up, it always twists somehow to always be about the hijab. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it says this bill most often will affect women because they wear, well, you know what? It's going to affect every single Sikh guy who works in a face of the government job. So it's not necessarily going to mostly affect women, because in the Sikh religion, only the men are wearing the outward religious symbol of you know what I mean? Or every Jewish man wears the kippa or the yarmulke. If you're religious Jewish, I should say. So I think that, yes, it affects Muslim women in the hijab, but it affects every religious person who chooses to wear one of the outwardly displaying symbols of their religiosity. And the only reason I bring that up is because so often everybody wants to make it about Islam and the hijab, and it's all religions. The cross, the kippa, the hijab, the I don't know, a turban, all these different things that may show your religiosity. So I just wanted to make that comment that it's not necessarily going to only affect women. It's going to affect outwardly religious signs.
That's very true, because almost the entirety of the debate around this bill has been regarding the hijab. Like, other faiths seem to pale in comparison. And to be fair, I don't remember the origins of this bill and how much it actually was started because of hijab.
Maybe.
Which is what we're seeing in France more, where like it's pretty
young. Yeah. I mean, they are specifically talking about the cover on young children, or girls under 18 or whatever.
Oh, actually, I meant was it Sweden or Switzerland that put that ban on the niqab, and then they also tried to make it seem like it was like masks and dark sunglasses for Antifa. Like they tried, but then like when you look at their propaganda, and it was so obvious it's like actually just about niqab, when like less than 40 women like wear niqab in the country. Like,
there's this instead of talking about the display of religion and why that is either could be a security problem, or it could be if you are the outward face of the government, you have to be neutral. So many people want to twist this into talking about the cover all the time. And yes, that's an issue. And yes, it can be a problem, particularly if you're forced to wear it or suffer punishment for taking it off. But there's more than that, just that religion that demands that people wear certain things. And so I just wanted to bring that up. That's all.
All right.
Very good point.
I do have to point out that as much as I think this laws like this make sense, maybe unless I'm missing a point, I'm willing to change my opinion on this. Even though I support this, I am aware that some people are using laws like this specifically to target Muslim women, and they try to hide under the cover. I'm not saying they're doing this. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But they say like, oh, it's all religious symbols, right? But their actual intention is to signal to people who are anti-Muslim, and they're like, wink, wink, nod, nod. Yes, this is for this. We're against religion in government. This is not about us being anti-Muslim, So even though we argue for, yes, ban religious symbols in government institutions and stop using taxpayer resources to broadcast religious symbols, we do have to be mindful of people who are jumping on this bandwagon with the same arguments with different intentions. Okay. But one point, I do wonder though, like Canada has a whole bunch of Sikhs. I called cops a couple of times in Canada, and I had police show up with a turban. Is that do we not have that in Quebec now? So by the way, guys, this is just Quebec, right? We're not talking about the rest of it. So in Quebec, this applies to turbans, right? So you can't be, okay. What about this guy? Can he?
Oh, he's
right?
an MP.
Yes, he's the NDP's MP. So
is he Quebecois? Is he Quebecois? Or is
no, but he's not. But can he? He's NDP. But can he visit as a government official to Quebec without his turban now? He's like a major member of parliament. So
Oh, shoot.
I would imagine because the laws of Quebec don't affect the laws of another province. So in his province that he lives in, he is not banned from wearing a religious symbol.
No, but what he's saying is that if Jagmeet Singh was in Quebec conducting government business, so he's
Yeah.
from a different province, but he's in Quebec conducting government business, is he allowed to wear it? This
I
is a
would
very
guess
good question.
probably yes, because he's not representing the Quebec government. Right?
Oh, is the law saying Canada's government or Quebec's government?
It's
a
Quebec.
Huh.
The impression that I get is Quebec specific.
And they're almost their own country.
Exactly. So
They want to be.
You might as well. No, I mean
Yeah.
they voted to stay in Canada, so
I
by a
think that
small margin.
it's Quebec specific. If you're representing the province of Quebec in any way, shape, or form, but not necessarily the government of Canada as a whole, because Quebec laws don't necessarily affect the other provinces, as we see from this.
Oh yeah, the rest of Canada thinks Quebec is like racist.
They do.
Right.
Oh my
People
God,
think
they
that French
constantly
people are just racist in general.
like all the
Yeah.
all the English speaking Canada. If you listen to the radio and watch the TV news, they're like, we have a racist province, by the way, that just did this. And like, they like the newscasters on the English channel, like, oh my God, look at, we are so ashamed of this province that we have. Look at what they're doing to hijab people. And like, they're constantly shaming them. And this is what making like a lot of people in Quebec, who are proud of their secularism. They're constantly like, screw you, rest of Canada. We know what we're doing. Mind your own business, right? So it's very interesting.
Armin, I wanted to just talk about what you said about people hiding behind this in order to be specifically targeting Muslim women. That's also part of the point I was making. Those people want to make it all about the cover too.
Mm-hmm,
You have like the Wokistanis want to make it all about the cover and how dare you, and you're only, but so do the people who are against either expression of religion being Islam. Everybody else's is fine, or they're specifically Muslim, anti-Muslim bigots.
Right. By the way, I don't understand this. I know I'm calling you out, but please do not generalize an entire group of people, whether positively or negatively. Okay, I don't think this is like collectivism rather than individualism. No entire group of people are wonderful or bad. We judge people individually. Anyways, that's my opinion at least. You could do whatever.
Hey guys, YouTube has fully demonetized their channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct, without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists, without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.